named block. Means if you want to re-execute that block, if it is named, you can directly call that particular stored procedure or function and can execute it number of times. Yes, it's a kind of reusable code. But when it is anonymous, compulsory you have to paste whole block. Yes, because it is unnamed. Okay, so this is the simple program or a PLSQL block where we have to use different control structure and exception. Yes, so exception part I already explained you. So exception handler is there, or exception is one of the we can say optional section or part in a PLSQL block. Yes, so now what is the problem statement given for this? Two tables are given. Yes, so first we need to create a borrower table. Yes, with columns roll number, name, date of issue, name of book, and status. Yes, so here which student, the student information, that student with roll number 20, name say Aditya, and on say suppose today's date, that is say 23rd of August is the date of issue. Then which book he issued and what is the status. Status means what? We are going to check the status as whether it is issued, I for issue and R for return. Okay. Then find table. There is one more table or the another table is find with roll number, date and amount. Yes. If anyone, as per the library policy, if anyone returned book late or not as per the date given, yes, then there will be some policy to assign fine. Yes, depending on how many days the particular student submitted book late. Yes, that's why that return date and issue date, we are taking the difference into count and accordingly we are going to calculate for the fine. If it is returned in time, no need to calculate fine, or it is zero, fine amount is zero. But if it is more than the given date, we have to calculate fine. Yes, so what is the exact problem statement given? Here we have to take roll number and name of the book. Yes, then check the number of dates. Yes, from date of issue, like if say I issued a book on 15th of August and today I'm returning it 23rd of August. Okay, so first what I'll check the difference between, yes, the return date and issue date. Then if days are between 15 to 30, yes, that's the first lap. Say the days are between 50 to 15 to 30, the gap is okay. Then fine amount will be rupees 5 per day. Yes, meaning behind 15 days are allowed, but if you return it after 15 days, more than 15 days, then there is fine calculation. Yes, so even how much longer you can keep it, if it is up to 30 days, if it is up to 30 days, the calculation is what? 5 rupees per day. Yes, but if even this is above 30, even the number of days are even exceeding 30, yes, means even after 1 month you are not returning that book, then per day fine will be 50 rupees. Per day fine will be 50 rupees. Yes, and if it is in the range of or is up to 30, then fine is, or for that, for days less than 30, fine is 5 rupees. 5 rupees per day. Yes. So do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is regarding or this is regarding fine calculation. Calculation is very simple. If it is more than 15, then you will be assigned a fine. Yes. If it is in the range of 15 to 30, 5 rupees per day. But if it is above 30, 50 rupees per day. Yes, that's a fine. And after returning the book, we have to change the status from issued to return. Yes. So status will be changed from I to R. Yes. So if condition of fine is true, means if the particular student is applicable for fine, then the details will be stored into the fine table. Yes, the table or the separate table which we created for fine. Yes, and we are going to handle exception. Yes, exception, we are going to check whether there is any fine applicable or not. If it is applicable, we have to store that record into fine table. If it is not applicable, we'll simply prompt a user-friendly message. Yes. Is this much clear? You all clear with the problem statement? Yes or no? Or is there any query? Yes? Okay. Now I'll switch to that SQL Live window and where we'll execute this code. Okay. So, is it visible to all of you? Is my window visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So first step is to create the borrower table. Yes. Before beginning with actual code of PLSQL, all the required tables, structures should be ready, or database object should be ready. So as per in the given problem statement, we have to create a borrower table. Yes, with roll number, name, name is student name, date of issue, name of book, and status. Yes. So here we first executed this create table query. Create table borrower, roll number is the primary key. Yes. Then name of the student, date of issue with data type date. Yes. Name of the book, varchar, status, varchar. Because we are going to store it either issued I or returned R. Yes. Now in addition to borrower, we have to create one more table, find. Yes, you have to create one more table, that is find. So syntax for find, or what are the columns or structure required for find table is roll number. Now in find table we are going to insert those roll numbers only for which the find is applicable, or if they have find with certain amount of uh, say fine, or dependent on our rules, how much is the money calculated or a fine amount calculated. Yes. So roll number, then s date means return date and amount. Okay. So here suppose we inserted few records into borrower table. Yes. So just a minute. I'm checking if it is, or okay, now not going to execute this select again because the values are already in front of you. I inserted roll numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6, even more than that, and these are the names of the students, these are the dates, date of issue, these are the say names of the, okay, names of the books, and I represents issued. Okay, this particular book is issued by this particular student with roll number, say for name is Joseph and the status is issued. Okay, now we have to write down a PLSQL block. So is this text is visible to all of you, or whether I have to increase the size? So as we discussed in PLSQL, first is the declare section. Yes, then second is the begin section, then exception, because here it is explicitly given in the problem statement to add exception. Yes, so exception and end. Yes, so we'll go section by section. So first is declare. Yes, so in declare we are declaring different variables those we require to get input. Okay, so first is suppose roll number. First we are taking roll number and then we are taking name. Okay, so B roll number, int, data type is B, name is varchar 20. Now what I have to calculate the difference between returned and issued date. Yes, so number of days. So for number of days, n days, int, initially it is assigned to 0. Yes, then I date, that is for issue date, then fine amount, file amount, which is of type integer, and initially it is assigned to 0. Yes, so this is the declare part where I declared roll number, name, number of days I declared as integer and initially is assigned to 0. This endless variable we are going to save, or we are going to store the difference between the dates. Okay, fine amount we are going to calculate fine. Yes, for that particular student. Then begin section. Now all executable statements are there under begin. Yes. So in begin, first I'm passing value to that roll number. Actually, now when you'll execute it on Oracle or actual Oracle prompt, then what happened, you can accept the input from user by means of and percent. Yes. So if you give here b roll colon is equal to and percent b roll, means what? It will prompt a message to you like in C or C++, enter value for roll number or enter roll number. Yes. And when you'll enter a roll number, it will assign that particular value to this variable. But I think in SQL Live it's not allowed, or here it is giving error because earlier I done with and percent, it's giving error to exact and percent sign. Yes. So if you have installed with Oracle, you can try with and percent. Actually, it is expected to do with and percent to get a user entered input. Yes, but as it was not working here, so I'll try it with direct values and parallelly we'll search for the option that how can we accept the input here. Yes, so if you have Oracle installed, you can try with and percent. So B roll number is equal to, say I give roll number 6 and name of the book given as SCPM. Yes. So here, what in this idate variable, this idate variable I declared here in declare section. Yes. So what we are taking? We are taking this date of issue is what? Date of issue is the column name. Yes. In table borrower to store date of issue. Yes. So what I'm doing? I'm selecting that date of issue column value into the variable idate. Yes, because that column directly I cannot use with. This is greater than or equal to 15. Because what we have condition. First slab is of the number of days, how many number of days it is late, whether it is in the range of 15 to 30, then it is 5 rupees per day. Yes, and if it is above that, then it is 50 rupees. Yes, so here we have to check for if number of days is greater than or equal to 15, and if it is below 30, then the fine amount is equal to, because why here we have done minus 15, because for initial 15 days there is no fine. Yes, for initial 15 days there is no fine, so end is minus 50. Yes, will give me extra number of days. Whether you all are getting. Yes, that's why it is end is minus 15 into 5. 5 rupees per day. कळतंय का? Whether you all are getting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Else if not, because here I'm checking for the second condition also. That's why I've used here which control structure? If else if. Yes, if else if. So here we are checking for whether it's exceeding 30 days. Whether it is even more than 30 days, then fine amount is equal to. So here in this case, for initial or for 15 days, it is 5 rupees per day. Yes, and after that it is 50 rupees. कळतं ना? Are you getting? Are you getting? Getting or not? Number of days, as it is exceeding 30. Yes, so I'm taking end as minus 30. And what in this case, if it is the situation that it is above 30 or it is more than 1 month, then for initial 15 days it is 5 rupees, and after that it is 50 rupees. Yes, that's why the calculation is like this. Got है? Then end if. Yes, now after calculating this fine, yes, we are going to update the status. Yes, so in borrower table, update table name borrower set status. Status is equal to R. Earlier it was issued I. Yes, so update borrower set status is equal to R. Yes, where the particular roll number and B name is matching with the variables B roll number, or here roll in and name of book. These are the columns. So these are the column values we are giving. Yes. Then if this fine amount is greater than 0. Now what? Second part of the this particular problem statement is what? If any fine is there, if any fine is calculated, then we have to insert it into fine table separately. Yes, we have to insert those details into fine table separately. Yes. So, okay. Do you understand meaning of the sys date? Sys date. I forgot to explain actually. Sys date means what? Today's date. If you execute select sys date from dual, yes, then it will give you today's date, current date. Yes. So every time sys date is the date that represents today's date or current date. Yes. So here, if today a particular student returned that book, I'm going to calculate fine. I'm going to change the status to return, and I'm going to insert fine into the fine table, or fine details into fine table. Yes. So insert into fine values in bracket roll number, date, and fine amount. Yes, then end if. So here we are checking if the particular student is not calculated with any fine amount, no need to insert. But if there is any fine applicable, we have to insert it separately in a fine table. Is this much clear? Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Or any doubt, any difficulty? Okay. So here this all about begin. Yes, all executable, all processing part is here in begin. So in begin, we are basically taking date of issue into idate variable. Then we are calculating number of days difference. Dependent on the number of days condition, yes, we are going to calculate fine. Yes, so as per the given problem statement, initial 15 days no fine. In 15 to 30, number of or 5 rupees per day. Yes, and even it is exceeding for 30, then what? Initial 15 days free, and after that or for the remaining 15 days it is 5 rupees, and even above that it is 50 rupees. Yes, so that way we calculated fine amount. Then we are updating status into borrower table that the issued book was or book is returned by the particular student. Yes, and then we are checking for after this, after updating the status as returned, we are checking for if any applicable fine is there. If fine calculated, if amount is because initially at the time of declaration fine amount is assigned to 0. If there is no fine, there is no calculation. But if it is applicable, then that fine amount is to be inserted into the fine table details. Yes, and then end if. So here we used control structure if, ALS if and if. Yes. The next important part is exception. After begin, after begin, there is exception. Now, if you remember in exception PPTs, I explained you about no data found. That's a standard exception in Oracle or in SQL. No data found. What do you mean by no data found? No data found. Can anyone of you? Now what happened? Here I'm executing a select query. Yes. So here I'm executing this select query to get this given roll number, book details record into issue date, IDate variable. Yes. But if that the value which I entered 6 and SCPM, yes, if that particular record doesn't exist, say suppose I've entered a roll number 55 who didn't have issued any book from library. Yes, say I'm checking status of a student with roll number 55. So if I entered or in where clause if I pass that value, then no record found. There will be no record because the student didn't issued any book from the library. Yes, so no rows affected. Yes, this select will not retrieve any record from the table. That is what no data found condition. Are you getting? Means what? This particular statement or this select is not affecting any rows. Means particular where clause which you added is not affecting any rows from the table. In that case, there can be chances of no record selected or none of the value is available to get transferred into the idate variable or to process further steps. Because if the student itself is not issued any book, there is no issue of calculation of fine or changing the status to return or what. Yes, so this is a no data found exception. Yes, so here we are checking for now. I already explained you syntax for exception is yes. So under exception section, when when is a keyword followed by name of the exception. Yes, no data found. Then yes, then means what? A processing part. If this particular exception is raised, if that particular exception is true, then what to do or which particular statement is to execute. So here we are simply prompting a message or we are uh, printing a message, no records found in response of that exception. And finally is the end section. Finally is the end section. So is this much clear or is there any query? Any query, any doubt? As I run it, it's giving me statement process. Means the particular PLSQL block is executed successfully. Yes. Six star found borrower. Select from. Suppose I'm executing this. The amount is so high. Okay. Let me check the date inserted because I directly copy pasted the dates. Okay, it's 20. Okay. So if I want to change the date, or you can insert dates of current year, yes, I simply copy pasted all the insert which I've done earlier. So the fine is calculated here, and the particular fine record is available in the table fine. Yes, I execute select star from fine. Yes, sources date because today's date is taken as 23rd August is taken as, into consideration. That's why it's a huge fine. And roll number 6 I given. So that particular record is existing there into the table. Yes. So roll number 6 or the student with roll number 6 has issued a book. Yes, and still not returned. So if today he is returning that book, the date difference is number of days calculated. Then as it is exceeding above 30, the calculations are 50 days per rupee, sorry, 50 rupees per day. So that's why the amount calculated is available here. Okay. Now, now, see if I'm giving, we'll check for borrower, how many roll numbers available there into the borrower table. Yes, and then I'll show you for the exception condition. Okay, so for Is it readable? Is it visible to all of you? Okay. So 1, 3, 5, 6, 2, 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six roll numbers are there. Okay. Now if I change mm, roll number to say 10. Okay. And if I run it, so now if I execute this PLSQL block, no records found. It's giving me that exception message is no data found, because what, there is not any existing student with roll number 10 who issued a book. Yes, who issued a book, say SCPM, or issued any SCPM book, but this particular record doesn't exist in the table. That's why it's a exception raised, no data found exception. Yes, and in the response of that exception, it's going to exception section. Yes, from begin it's switching to exception section, because while executing this select, yes, while executing this select statement, this particular where condition is not, or this particular where condition is not affecting any row, so directly there will be the situation of no data found exception. So it switches to exception section, will check for that particular exception condition, and if it is raised, what is the, or after, or then part is executed. That is what, printing a message or a user friendly message to user that there is not any record matching with the given roll number and the name of the book. Yes, is this clear? Is this much clear, or is there any doubt, any query? Yes. Any doubt, any query? You understood with what is expected to do in your first anonymous PLSQL block. Simply we have to create all the base tables on which we are working on. So borrower, find, insert some sample records. You can insert any number. I mean, minimum 10 records you all have to insert in borrower. Yes. Then give this date part properly so that there can be proper calculation of the find. Okay. Then declare. Now one more thing, if I gave you as an your home assignment, can you add some user defined exception here? Can you add some user defined exception here? This is what uh, a standard exception in Oracle. No data found. The standard exception name. Yes, or a predefined exception name. So directly it will check for that particular condition and gives that particular message. But other than that, even we have facility to create our own exceptions conditions based on our particular system, and we can give some user friendly messages based on the policies of say, if I'm creating it for a particular organization, they're having there a number of rules or certain criteria, then based on that I can even create an exception, my own defined exception, and I can add here in the exception section. Yes, are you getting? Yes, any query? Any query? Here I select this date from dual is a system table actually. Let me check if it is working here. It's giving system date, that is current date or today's date, that is 23rd August 21. Yes. So sysdate always used in database to hold current date, to hold today's date. Yes. Select sysdate from dual. Now what happened many of the times? at the time. If you want to apply certain other functions, then what here the difference is, or we have directly added with a minus sign, because both of the um variables are of date data type. Yes, sysdate is an inbuilt system variable that's storing date data type or current date, and idate I declared as a date. Yes, so I can directly use here minus sign. But many of the times, if it is not date column, or say if it is char, yes, in your table, then you need to use some conversion function to date to char, yes, for certain kind of manipulations. Yes, here in this case, what both side or both of the operands are of the same data type date. That's why I'm directly using minus operator, and it gives me the number of days difference. Is this much clear? Is this much clear? कळतंय का? कळालंय का? काही क्वेरी आहे? Hmm? Suppose I am printing that number of dates differences. Okay. So here I have to use concatenation and end dates. So let's pick. कळालंय सगळ्यांना? Oh, okay, no records found. Okay, let me change this roll number to 4 is there, I think. 4. Yes, we'll check for 4. But for 4, it is CN. Okay, so let me change it to CN. Okay. Number of days printed here 403. So the student will be assigned a fine according to that. So here we can calculate initial 15 days, no fine. Then 15 to 30 day, 5 rupees per day. Above 30, 50 rupees per day. Are you getting? Suppose I want to insert a space here. It doesn't, because of that, one put in the error. Unique constraint, line 20. Hmm. Okay, inserting, if I'm executing it again in fine, the same roll number entry will be inserted twice. That's why it's giving the error, because roll number is a primary key in fine table. Yes. So if I'm executing again for 4 roll number, then it's giving me that message unique constraint violated, because in fine I'm inserting or trying to insert same record, same information. Are you getting or not? If I tried for number 5 with say TOC. Okay. Number of days calculated 544, and here if I execute, if I execute select star from fine, it gives me the records inserted under 5. So you got the error that is populated, because what? 4 roll number is already inserted here. Yes, and I'm trying to re-execute it with the same roll number 4. So it's trying to insert same roll number again into this find table, which is not allowed because there is a unique constraint on roll number. Yes, so but if I execute with 6, it's it's stored here. Yes, with this particular details for roll number 6, 5 and 4. Okay, is this clear? क्लिअर किंवा कोणाला काही डाऊट आहे, क्वेरी आहे? इज देयर एनी क्वेरी? So from my end, this assignment is completed. PLSQL anonymous block. And if possible, you what? Insert or replace. Okay, okay. Mm. If possible, you add a user-defined exception here, dependent on some user-defined condition. Yes. Okay. Any doubt? Any doubt? Any query? काही query आहे का? Okay, that's good. If you don't have any difficulty or any doubt, I mean, uh, it indicates that you cleared with the problem statement and the code explained. So this way you have to execute your anonymous PLSQL block assignment. Yes, and the output. So in output you can take out different conditions as I shown you for some existing records. Then even there can be some exception raised. So those kind of roll numbers even you are supposed to give and to execute your PLSQL block. Yes. So next important point, whether you have done with DDL and DML. DDL DML चे डिटेल प्रॉब्लेम स्टेटमेंट्स किंवा फायनल प्रॉब्लेम स्टेटमेंट्स मी गुगल क्लासरूमला टाकलेले आहेत. ते तुम्ही केलेत का एक्झिक्यूट? केलेत का? Please respond me fast in chat window because I'm going to declare deadline for those assignments. ER diagram and DDL DML. Till 20th of August, I mean this week, you have to submit these two assignments, ER diagram and DDL and DML on Google Classroom. I'll post that particular, I'll do the settings for that assignment. The deadline is 28th. Yes, and after 28th, it will be late. Yes. So, and second important point is what many of the students are messaging me on WhatsApp to check for the ER diagram. So what happened? We will discuss it in lab slot because what we have to interact, we have to talk regarding few points, and then we can easily means you can share your ER diagram and I'll give my inputs and you can finalize your ER diagram. Yes. So in this week lab sections, those who want to discuss ER diagrams, those students can remind me in the lab and will interact one to one and will finalize that ER diagram. Yes, because for finalizing I have to ask n number of questions, so it will be better if you in the call and then we'll discuss and we'll finalize those points. Okay. No reply in chat window. Okay. I'm not going to wait for your reply. I'm going to announce the deadline of 28th for ER diagram DDL DML assignment. Yes. And parallelly, I'm going to add a detailed statement for join. Yes. And then I'll give one more week for joins and anonymous PLS curve. Okay. Okay. Parallelly, we have to start with our assessment tools on ER. I finalized a problem statement as an assessment tool. Yes. So that ER assessment tool you all have to submit and you all have to prepare as per the given detailed problem statement. Okay. 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 Thank you. We'll conclude this call now.